The Greene Murder Case, Improved, Don't You Know? By S. Van Dyne. Updated to Modern English, by Reginald Martynique. Copyright Roger McReynolds, 2021. Cover, copyright Amber Smart Designs, 2021. All rights reserved. No part of this may be reproduced, scanned, or distributed in any printed or electronic form without permission. Murder most foul, as in the best it is. But this most foul, strange and unnatural. Hamlet. Chapter 1. A Double Tragedy. Tuesday, November 9th, 10 a.m.
It has long been a source of wonder to me why the leading criminological writers, men like Edmund Lester Pearson, H.B. Irving, Filson Young, Canon Brooks, William Bolitho, and Harold Eaton, have not devoted more space to the Greene tragedy. For here, surely, is one of the outstanding murder mysteries of modern times. A case practically unique in the records of modern crime. And yet I realize, as I read over my own voluminous notes on the case, and inspect the various documents relating to it, how little of its inner history ever came to light, and how impossible it would be for even the most imaginative reporter to fill in the gaps. The world, of course, knows the external facts. For over a month the press of two continents was filled with accounts of this appalling tragedy, and even the bare outline was enough to gratify the public's craving for the abnormal and the spectacular. But the inside story of the catastrophe surpassed even the wildest flights of public fancy. And, as I now sit down to divulge those facts for the first time, I am oppressed with a feeling akin to unreality, although I was a witness to most of them, and hold in my possession the undeniable records of their actuality. Of the fiendish ingenuity that lay behind this terrible crime, of the warped psychological motives that inspired it, and of the strange hidden sources of its technique, the world is completely ignorant. Moreover, no explanation has ever been given of the analytic steps that led to its solution. Nor have the events regarding the process of that solution, events in themselves highly dramatic and unusual, ever been presented. The public believes that the termination of the case was a result of the usual police methods of investigation, but this is because the public is unaware of many of the vital factors of the crime itself, and because both the police department and the district attorney's office have, as if by unspoken agreement, refused to make known the entire truth. Whether for fear of being disbelieved, or merely because there are certain things so terrible that no man wishes to talk about them, I do not know. The record, therefore, that I am about to set down is the first complete and unedited history of the Greene Holocaust. I feel that now the truth should be known, for it is history, and one should not shrink from historical facts. Also, I believe that the credit for the solution of this case should go where it belongs. The man who explained the mystery and brought to a close that manuscript of horror was, curiously enough, in no way officially connected with the police. And in all the published accounts of the murder, his name was not once mentioned. And yet, had it not been for him and his unusual methods of criminal deduction, the evil plot against the Greene family would have been decisively successful. The police, in their researches, were dealing dogmatically with the evidential appearances of the crime, whereas the operations of the criminal were being conducted on a plane quite beyond the comprehension of the ordinary investigator. This man, who after weeks of dedicated and disheartening analysis, eventually discovered the source of the horror, was a young social aristocrat, a very close friend of John F. X. Markham, the district attorney. His name, I am not at liberty to divulge, but for the purposes of these chronicles, I have chosen to call him Philo Vance. He is no longer in this country, having transferred his residence several years ago to a villa outside of Florence. And since he has no intention of returning to America, he has agreed to my request to publish the history of the criminal cases in which he participated, as a sort of amicus curiae, friend of the court. Markham also has retired to private life, and Sergeant Ernest Heath, that brave and persistent and honest officer of the Homicide Bureau, who officially handled the Greene case for the police department, has, through an unexpected legacy, been able to gratify his life's ambition to breed fancy Wyandottes, an American breed of chickens raised for meat and eggs, on a model farm in the Mohawk Valley. Thus, circumstances have made it possible for me to publish my personal records of the Greene tragedy. A few words are necessary to explain my own participation in the case. I say participation, though, in reality, my role was that of passive spectator. For several years I had been Vance's personal attorney. I had resigned from my father's law firm, Van Dyne, Davis and Van Dyne,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?